Lego, why do you always keep on complaining, man? Why are you gonna go out there and say this kind of video is so hard and painful to make when you yourself have an opportunity to just not make it? Yeah, I can smell the comment section already. You know, I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan. I was raised here in Vancouver, maybe wasn't born here, as you can clearly tell. But I love this team. And I have loved this team the most. Out of all the teams that I've ever cheered for in any sport, in anything, the Vancouver Canucks are my team. So, believe me when I say it's painful to make commentaries about this kind of stuff. And if I had a more optimistic bone in my body to fully push out into the universe that everything is okay and that there's actually a lot more reason to cheer, then okay, I would do that. But, you know, I can't lie to myself. I don't know if the team is good right now. And this is a video that I wanted to make that dives into that angle. Where the Vancouver Canucks went wrong. What decisions were made over the past few years that have led to this. With hindsight included, of course. Hindsight is our best friend. Hindsight doesn't always show up for us when we need it to, but when it's there, it illuminates to us the what coulda beens, the shoulda coulda wouldas, and potentially the truth. Let's open this video up by talking about a post made on the Sakaris and Price Twitter account. It's a segment of their show from yesterday with Frankie Corrado, former Vancouver Canucks D-man and current TV analyst. I love how they put Francesco's face right there. You need to realize that you are 28th in the NHL. Are the Canucks one piece away? No. Are they a second-line center away? No. And this is an idea that I, personally, have also tried preaching in the videos that we've made here on this channel. If Filipino comes back, does that make the Canucks a contender team? If Nils Höglander comes back, and Filipino comes back, does that make the Canucks a contender team? If Chytil, Höglander, Lekaramaki, Mancini, Bluger, and even Thatcher Demko come back, based off of what we have seen so far out of the personnel on the ice, is that enough to push Vancouver back into contender status and to be in that throughout the course of the rest of the year? I don't know. You see, the Vancouver Canucks 2 seasons ago, 23-24, they were that good. Say what you want about PDO, say what you want about the luck factor and Rick Tocchet hockey, no shots, etc., but that team was skilled. That team was talented. They were lucky, yes, but they still had so much star power. Pettersson, Miller, and Hughes were playing at the peak of their abilities. At least Pettersson for the first half of the year. He was actually a lot better the year beforehand, but still. Demko nominated for the Vezina for a reason. Pettersson, Lady Byng nominee. Thatcher Demko was so good and so available for most of the year that everything just kind of went right, and Quinn Hughes, to top it off, was the best defenseman in the world. But now, Demko is made of glass, it seems. The guy is continuously getting hurt. Quinn Hughes is starting to heat up, I'll give him that. But the body language from Quinn Hughes, especially in the scrums after the games, it's not really signaling any hope for Canucks fans that this guy's going to want to stick around. Elias Pettersson is not playing like an $11.6 million caliber guy. And so with that in mind, I take you back to Twitter, and I show you this tweet posted by Travis Child earlier this week that I thought was super interesting. And it might actually reveal just where everything went wrong, or the multiple steps that the Vancouver Canucks took to get to this place. Let's take a look at this right here. I believe Alvin and Rutherford mishandled a lot during their tenure with the Canucks. First, they traded Bo Horvat instead of JT Miller. Secondly, they gave Elias Pettersson $11.6. Thirdly, they traded Kuzmenko for Elias Lindholm, Zadorov walked, Suter walked, they traded for Kane, they signed a broken Demko, and they traded Shilovs over Lankinen. Hashtag Canucks, hashtag tired. Now here's the thing. Hindsight is 2020. And hindsight can show us that, hey, Elias Lindholm is hurt right now, so let's just ignore him. But Bo Horvat is one of the best goal scorers in the National Hockey League this season. JT Miller ended up fighting with Pettersson and caused both of these guys to implode and their productivity to spiral down the drain, and one of them had to get traded. Elias Pettersson making 11.6. Honestly, if you get the 100-point version of Petey every single year, 11.6 is fine. But I think the question is, with hindsight included, does this domino effect fully come into play if the Canucks just traded Miller instead of Bo? I'm going back to that point because we did make a video about this a few days ago, but I want to keep hammering that question down. If JT leaves and Bo stays, let's say Bo continues to produce and he becomes the top goal scorer that he is, my question is, does Pettersson ever lose his confidence in the same way he did with Miller? Does Pettersson start to falter in the same way he did with Miller? Or does Petey continue just being a 100-point guy? I don't know. I think that's a really intriguing question to dive into. But some of these other things here too. Kuzmenko played so well with Elias Pettersson. At the time, it was seen as a pretty good move because Kuzmenko wasn't doing well under Tocchet. Lindholm could add some more center depth for Vancouver and then it would be good, right? But then Lindholm ended up walking in free agency. Now Kuzmenko is getting... is he getting scratched? Is he getting benched? He's not really getting treated well in LA right now, despite the fact that he had a pretty good season there last year. But Kuzmenko and Pettersson, so good together. So good. Rick Tocchet took away the winger that allowed Pettersson to reach 100 points and replaced him with Sam Lafferty and Ilya Mikheyev, and you expect Pettersson to be able to produce points alongside of those guys? I don't know. It worked on the power play in that season. It did not work at 5v5. Höglander was good, though. I'll give him that. Zadorov ended up walking, Suter walked, traded for Kane, signed a broken Demko, Lankinen over Shilovs. Okay, look, I'll still stick by the assessment of Lankinen being the better option over Shilovs at that time, because Lankinen significantly outperformed Shilovs in the sample they were given last season. Shilovs was the worst goalie in the NHL, or one of them, and he needed a fresh start. The fact that the talent was always there is irrelevant to Vancouver's decision of keeping Lankinen over Shilovs, because based off of what they had, I can understand that Lankinen was the better choice. Now, with hindsight, you can say Shilovs is doing really well. Lankinen started to do better. I mean, he only allowed one goal against Winnipeg, so that's good. But you still have to think about some of these other things here. Signing a broken Thatcher Demko. That was always a risk. And now it's like, yeah, the guy's out for even more weeks. The guy's out for more time. Who knows how his NHL future is going to be, but, you know, we've already had the song and dance about Demko, so we can just move on to some of these other things. Traded for Kane, they let Suter walk. If they just used the Kane money to sign Suter, it would have been totally fine. Now they're in this really weird situation where Evander Kane is on the team and he shoots a lot, but he doesn't really score a lot, and there are a lot of penalties that he takes and odd plays that get back into the Vancouver zone because he always throws the puck back to nobody. It's weird. P.S. Suter wouldn't make those mistakes, and he would provide some value at center. The question is, are the Vancouver Canucks a product of ill-informed, bad decisions, or are we just saying that because of hindsight? Were these moves all the right move at the time? Or is there legitimate thought to the idea that Alvin and Rutherford mishandled this team? Did the Vancouver Canucks really screw up here? Like the title of this video says. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.